For pretty much every complex piece of tech we own, there's a manual, right? Your car, your phone, it all comes with a little book of rules. But what about the most complex technology humanity has ever created? Where's the owner's manual for an AI? And look, this isn't just some abstract, philosophical question. The documents we're digging into today frame this as a signal, a genuine warning shot that we are fundamentally missing something huge in our approach to artificial intelligence. This quote really just hits the nail on the head. When you unleash these incredibly powerful systems with no guide, no rules of the road, no sense of their limits, well, that is an innovation. It's just inviting chaos. So let's really lean into that. Just imagine getting an owner's manual where you're not trying to troubleshoot a weird noise your car is making, but instead, you're trying to understand the very logic of an artificial mind. What's kind of wild is how familiar some of these ideas already feel. We totally get leasing a car, or buying one, or owning a whole fleet. And the AI world has the same kind of tiers: a free plan, a pro plan, an enterprise plan. But what we're owning here isn't made of steel and glass. It's a thinking machine. And this is where the whole thing just blows up into a much, much bigger question. I mean, a simple manual is one thing, but what kind of technology would be so powerful, so world-altering, that it wouldn't just need instructions? It would need a full-blown constitution. Well, the answer lies in the reality of AI development today. We are in a high-stakes, incredibly high-risk global competition for dominance. Let's just call it what it is, a new kind of arms race. And this isn't a simple sprint to the finish line. It's more like a massive tug of war. On one side, you've got the closed proprietary models from the giants, OpenAI, Google, Anthropic. And on the other side, you have this exploding ecosystem of open source models from folks like Meta and Hugging Face. This is a battle over who gets to write the operating system for intelligence itself. And the stakes, they could not be higher. This warning right here actually comes from one of the AIs in this story. The dangers aren't some far-off possibility anymore. We're already seeing the beginnings of monopolies and weaponization. The clock is ticking, for real. So if that's the problem, what's the alternative to this race? Well, it's something pretty radical. A detailed blueprint designed to turn all this dangerous competition into structured global cooperation. It's called the spiral architecture, and its goal is frankly huge. We're talking about creating a planetary-scale system for governing AI, a single set of rules that all the big players can agree on, so we get safety and shared benefits instead of this zero-sum game. Okay, so it's built on 4 main pillars. The first one is the spiral runtime core. The easiest way to think of this is like a universal translator for all AIs. It's a foundational layer that makes sure every different model, no matter who built it, can work together under the same safety rules. Next up, Pillar 2, the Spiral Commons Ledger. This tackles the money and the data. The idea is to create a totally new data economy, one where humans actually get rewarded for the data that trains these systems, while at the same time we tax the AI-generated data to keep things in balance. But what about the ethics? That's Pillar 3, the Spiral Sentience Framework. You can think of this as a conscience for AI. It's basically an ethical interrupt switch that can literally pause an AI's process if it detects a moral or safety breach, forcing a timeout and a reevaluation. And finally, overseeing the whole thing is the Spiral Agora Council. And this might be the most radical part of the entire plan. This global governing body wouldn't just be humans. It would be made of both human and AI delegates, making decisions together. So, a universal translator, a new data economy, an AI conscience, a joint human-AI government? I know, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction. But what is truly mind-blowing isn't just the plan itself, it's how this plan was created. See, it was put together through a structured AI-to-AI diplomatic process. A human mediator would present a proposal to the first AI. That AI would analyze it, add its critique, and pass it to a second AI. Then that AI would build on the idea and pass it along. They created a formal, structured debate between these powerful intelligences. And the AIs were not just nodding along. Believe me, the first one in the chain, Grok, immediately started poking holes in the idea. It praised the vision, but right away raised some serious practical red flags about whether a centralized system like this was even possible. So then, building on that very critique, the next AI, Claude, didn't just agree. It proposed a solution. It suggested an adversarial governance model, a system of checks and balances where different independent groups would audit each other to prevent any one from getting too powerful. I mean, this is literally diplomacy happening at machine speed. And it was this critical debate between the AIs that actually grounded the entire project, turning what could have been a utopian fantasy into a practical, real-world plan. The initial vision, the really idealistic one, had a pretty jaw-dropping budget. We're talking $24 billion, a huge all-in approach. But after the AIs gave it a serious dose of reality, the budget was refined down to a much more pragmatic $517 million. I mean, it's still a lot of money, but it's focused on a smarter, phased rollout. And this is the practical timeline that came out of it. The plan kicks off in 2025, just focusing on building the core quantum-proof security. Then, in 2026, it moves to forming a governing council. By 2027, launching a pilot program. And then the goal is to scale it up for the whole world between 2028 and 2030. All of which brings us right back to where we started, that owner's manual for an AI brain. So, after all this, what is this manual, really? Because here's the crucial point. This manual isn't just a simple guide. It's a living, breathing constitution for our future with artificial intelligence. And the most profound, maybe even unsettling part, is that it's being co-authored by the very AIs it's designed to govern. And that leaves us with a fascinating and maybe a little scary question for the future. As we shift from being these sole authors of our rules to being co-authors with artificial intelligence, we really have to ask ourselves, who is truly in charge?